Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HCW Podcast. This week we are going to be reviewing WWE Friday Night Smackdown, WWE Monday Night Raw, and AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. Stay tuned, it's going to be an average one.
HCW Reviews.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am your host, Frozzy, with my co-host, Rate Wrestle, as always. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, yeah. I've just had to shut Facebook because someone's messaged me and I can hear it on the audio. But except for that, yeah, I'm doing well. Work's been an absolute shambles. Not on our side, but our suppliers messed up everything and it's caused an absolute shitstorm. But except for that, how are you been doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Just there, work. You know how it is. We've had a new ops manager, so everything's changed. Love it.
The dream.
Yeah, it is the dream. But we are marking a special occasion on this podcast. And we have now reached 100 subscribers on YouTube. So we've nearly been going, or I think we have been going a year.
It's exactly a year today, yeah, weirdly. It won't be when this video is released, it'll be yesterday when this is actually out. Yeah.
So we are exactly 1 year old today as of recording. When you're seeing this, we'll be 1 year and a day. But we have reached 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is something that we're really happy about. We can't thank you all enough for subscribing, still putting up with the crap that we spew on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Thank you to Rate for everything he does. Thank you to DP for all that he does. Thank you to RGX for everything he did while he was part of the channel. And thank you for me to just being here.
Yep, thank you, Frozzy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Someone has to say it,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So... But what we're going to do is we're not going to hark on about it too much, reaching 100 subs. We'll just be reaching for the next landmark. So, without further ado, we are just going to get cracked on and... wow, that sounded so bad.
Yep, yeah.
We're going to crack on and review some wrestling. So why don't you kick us off with Friday Night Smackdown?
Yeah, so I cracked on with Smackdown. So it started off with the Usos just walking in the parking lot. They got kind of marauded by the usual interviewers. Jay said he's pretty much proud and he's here to be for it. They asked him why if he turned on Sammy. He went, well, I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to tell you in the ring. Yeah. So we started off with the actual match quality of a 5-man. It was supposed to be a winner faces gun for the Continental Championship. Not wrote the names, but I believe it was Drew, Sheamus, LA Knight, Xavier Woods, and some other no mark. Karrion Kross. There you go. I rated this 3 stars. It was good. It was the usual kind of 1 in, 1 out maneuver. It ended with a dual win because Sheamus and Drew. I called that they probably are going to be doing a triple threat, and it seems like it's going to be happening because I can see the next week's match ending in some messed up way. Like Gunther's going to come out and attack them both, and then it's going to be like, oh, you've done this, WrestleMania.
Yeah,
so,
exactly what it'll be.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But it was a good match. Everyone looked pretty decent in it. Heyman backstage, he's just pretty much going on about the Cody Rhodes story of like, we need to deal with this problem. He's basically getting up in our business. Plays the usual family card because that's what Cody Rhodes is all about. And Roman is the son that Dusty needs, blah blah blah. But family's going to sort Cody out.
Yeah.
Here comes Ray, who's been announced in the Hall of Fame, which is a very odd one. So, unless he's retiring soon, because they don't normally have, they'll have a match at Mania and that'll be it when you're going in the Hall of Fame. You don't really have a wrestler that continues. Obviously, Edge he thought he was done. So it's very surprising seeing Ray being inducted, unless this is going to be like a career-ending match against Dom at Mania.
They need to hurry up and build it that way then.
Yeah. Ray comes out, about to spiel about his Hall of Fame, and then here comes Dom. Dom basically says, hey, Mysterio going in the Hall of Fame is a joke. He wishes that Eddie was his daddy. That's a true Hall of Famer. Then they basically go and square up, and it's Santos Escobar comes down, and basically, it is Santos Escobar. FPL completely throws me every time I say He comes down as they're about to kind of jump Ray with the Judgment Day, and then it kind of spews into a 6-man tag, which was announced prior to this. So Judgment Day versus Legado del Fantasma. I believe I rated this 3 stars, but the way I've read in my sheet looks like 2, so I'm going with 3 because I don't remember it being terrible. So it was pretty much Rhea was trying to get involved with a lot. I rated it like it was a decent matchup. There was nothing really to kind of write home about it. It was a decent matchup to kind of follow on from them. And I don't remember who wins. That's how decent it was.
I'm just trying to find it.
Yeah. I was trying to segue while I was trying to look on Cage Match, but like literally, so
Dom pin.
Yeah, Dom pin when we did the frog splash, didn't I? That was it. Like as soon as he said it jogs my memory. Just so much. This is the earliest Friday to now. Then we have Charlotte. She wants a match tonight, and then Adam Pearce was like, "Okay, you can have a match tonight." The Raiders versus Braun O'Shea. I read it's 2.5. My exact only point from this match is they won. Viking Raiders won a match.
Yep.
They actually won a match. I don't care how they won the match.
They'll lose on Friday.
Yeah, of course they will, but they won a match. That's all I'm taking away from it. Gunther basically goes to Pearce, goes, and you had one job. Get a single competitor to face me, and then Pearce announces Sheamus versus Drew for next week, and he's like, Charlotte versus Shotzi, 2.5. Charlotte ends up beating Shotzi after Rhea tries to distract a few times, and because it's Charlotte, that ain't happening. Like any other champion, like distraction, they may lose. Charlotte, it's not happening. She's winning. And then they pretty much just goes that Charlotte and Rhea have kind of confrontation in the middle of the ring, and Charlotte says, "You're all built upon this like story of that you've improved in the last 3 years, but no one outworks me. I just get better and better." So that's pushing towards that matchup at Mania. And then we end. That was the main event, by the way. And then we end with the Usos. Basically, Jimmy Jay was saying the only reason, it was weird the way he was going about it, because he basically said that the only reason I didn't stay with Sammy is because he's not my blood. Everything's messed up, but because Jimmy's my buddy, I'm forced into this. It sounded like. They blame Sammy, and then they were blaming Cody, and Sammy's the reason this all happened. Sammy jumps Jay and Jimmy, and then it kind of ends up with Cody saving Sammy. Yeah. Adrenaline in his soul.
Something, Cody Rhodes.
That's the end of Smackdown. Let's go to Raw. Whoa!
So with that being said, we will move on to Raw.
And here comes Edge. So Edge, they do this a lot recently. So Edge comes down, is about to speak, Judgment Day, instant cut. They did this twice, Rey Mysterio did it, instant cut, so I think it's Judgment Day's thing. Edge was basically saying he's been wasting his small career that he's got left on the Judgment Day, which is fair enough. And he says, "You know what, I'm going to fight you at Mania, Finn." And Finn goes, "Look at that, boys, I'm going to Mania," really happy. And then Edge basically announces that it's going to be a Hell in a Cell match. Tries to spook Finn, but Finn says, I've got to face all my demons, and so it's going to be Demon Finn at Mania, I'm hoping.
Yeah, same. It needs to be.
And then it ends up with Gargano coming down and saving the day.
Yeah.
Yep. Leading into the Judge versus Gargano and Loomis. I rated this 3.25. This was a lot better than I expected it to be. It was a very hard-work match from both teams. There was a few distractions in the end that led to Dom's team picking up the win again. But Loomis looked decent in it, which he doesn't really do much in the ring. Gargano obviously is just the workhorse, but Damien and Dominic have been doing pretty well as a unit. And they're pushing him really well, which is good, because it kind of hides how dodgy Dom is in the ring. So remember probably about 6 months ago, we'd just go on about how crap Dom is in the ring. But it's kind of hidden at the moment. Next up, we had Triple M. With a whole spiel of so basically Ortiz, that's it, isn't it? He's getting the camera shots like he's in like a full like one speedo kind of thing. Gabe was saying, "What's going on? Why are you doing this?" And then it ends up with Maxine kind of dragging him off. Good times. I don't think that was that. I think that was actually Miz, wasn't it? Miz was up next, but
I was so confused.
Yeah, the way I've written it looks like I've written Miz as MMM. But yeah, that MMM segment happens literally before the main event. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Damage Control are tracking. So what happens is Miz is about to say some crap. It pans to Damage Control absolutely wiping out Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Omos is in the ring. Lesnar comes down. They had one spot. They messed it up. Omos was supposed to outpower Lesnar and throw him over the rope. He tried to throw him over the rope and Lesnar dangled on the top rope and he had to push him some more.
Yeah, it's the most viewed clip on WWE's YouTube this week by some distance.
That's good. Yeah.
Well,
Cody...
it means people want it, mate. That's what it means.
I told you, Omos is big. If I could be asked, I'd probably show a clip of when I said that Omos is never leaving. People were adamant, but no, yeah, I can't be asked to figure that out. Cody Rhodes versus LA Knight, because LA Knight's fighting on Raw to get squashed by Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Rated 2.5 stars, because it was just pretty much, LA Knight got a bit of offense, but it was Cody Mania, and then he was just hyping Mania straight afterwards. You know, he's got to finish the story.
Yeah.
His dad. Next up we had Seth. He was just on about how he got sucker punched by Logan, but you know, this isn't a thing anymore. And then Miz basically said that Impulsive is going to be live next week, which is Logan Paul's podcast.
Yeah.
And then Corbin is just there to kind of say he could be a guest on Impulsive, and Miz was like, you know, that ain't happening. Then Corbin says to Seth, you know, you're going to be fighting Logan. I was a bare knuckle fighter, Golden Gloves. I could teach her. And Rollins basically said he'd rather learn from his kid daughter. And this is going to lead into a Seth versus Baron match. Reed versus Elias squash match. Reed wins. KO up next. He doesn't need any help. Theory is a choke artist. I've wrote here, so I think that was two separate things. So I think KO's just basically spieling that he doesn't need any help from Sammy and stuff. He's going to do this on his own. He doesn't want them to come out to help him tonight. Cody should basically fudge off. Then yeah, it was Theory. I've written Theory choke artist. I don't know who was speaking to him. Oh, it was the Street Profits. That's why I didn't care, because the Street Profits are calling Theory a choke artist when it's the Street Profits that are lose merchants.
Yeah.
Like, absolute atrocity. Theory versus Dawkins, right? 2 3/4. It was decent. I liked it. Dawkins got a bit of offense, which you don't normally see in a singles match. Theory ended up picking up the win, and he got him the STFU, which was nice. I like that. Because obviously Cena's not going to be around until Mania now, so it's going to be on Theory to kind of sell this until Mania, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Heyman, he's basically saying that the the whole Owens problem is going to be solved tonight. Like the Sami Zayn's going to be problems going to be solved tonight. It's all going to be solved. Ray is down, and basically Dominic says you deserve to go in the Hall of Fame this week, which was odd. But you know, you did all this, but you know, you did all this because you left me at home. You know, my dad was never around. You weren't a proper dad. Which kind of fair enough, because Rey Mysterio was on the road a lot. Like, he'd barely got injured for years. And Dom basically says he wants to fight Rey at Mania. Rey's like, no, I'm not going to fight my son. So it's pretty much like an Undertaker versus Kane scenario from years ago, where Undertaker was refusing to fight Kane for ages. And then Dom's going to push him over the edge. Don't know what the stipulation's going to be. It's going to be, I'm assuming it's going to be Rey's career, but I don't know what Dom can do. Dom leaves the Judgment Day?
Yeah, Dom goes home.
Yeah.
Forever.
Dom divorces Mammy? I don't know.
Dom no longer is prison Dom.
Dom has to wear a mask. He's got to be called Dom Mysterio. Not Ray. Not Dominic. Dom Mysterio. Or Day Mysterio. I don't even know what I've written here. I went, gang pissed. Oh, yeah, that was it. The Dumas gang, that's what I wrote here. The DP Dumas gang is annoyed that Trish got attacked. They're pissed. Yeah. Seth versus Corbin, 3 1/4 squash match. Literally just as long as Reed's match. Triple M, I've mentioned what happened there. Chelsea Green versus Bianca. I rated this 2.5. I was surprised it actually went this long. Bianca ended up no-selling a move and then getting the KOD to pick up the win.
Yeah.
And then we had KO versus Solo. I rated 3 stars. It was a good match, street fight match, typical match. The Usos kind of jumped in the end to help Solo pick up the win, and no one helped Kevin, which is fair enough because he told them no one's helping, so he's got no really kind of like horse to die on.
No.
Wrestling. Just to throw it out there, I finished Raw in 7 minutes.
Because Raw wasn't great.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? No.
Speaking of not great, let's move on to AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, so I'm going to speak about this because I spoke about this to yourself and DP, so I might as well speak about it in the podcast. You'll see the title of the show. AEW, every show, I'm not talking about like show-on-show basis, they will have... It's either that something happening on the show is really good or it's really bad. There's not like average. There's not like an average match. There's not like it's just this is terrible or this is really good. It's like there's no kind of average build. So we kick off with MJF's Rebar Mitzvah. So he's basically saying, you know, he beat Daniel Bryan, submitted him, and then they bring down the Bar Mitzvah chair with a load of Jewish-looking people. Like, they made them look proper stereotypical Jewish, though, so you could whacked MJF on the chair. And then, who's going to stop this whole celebration? It's Jack Perry, Jungle Boy!
Wow.
So he comes down, he's about to say some stuff, and then here comes Sammy Guevara. So he comes down. And then here comes Darby Allin. And then it took me a while until MJF mentioned it. These are the 4 pillars of AEW, aren't they? I completely forgot that was a thing. They're named as like the 4 pillars of AEW. So MJF goes, what are you all doing down here? Each one of them says exactly at the same time, I want a title match. So mid-card arrives. None of these deserve title matches at all.
No.
Like, none of them are like... Jungle Boy just beaten an injured Christian, like a random Christian. Darby Allin just lost the TNT title and disappeared into oblivion for a while. And then Sammy Guevara has done nothing at any point in the last year. So it made no sense. The ranking system is still there. Like, so I don't think any of these are in the top 5 ranking that they keep shelling. But then they go around, basically, so Jungle Boy basically says that MJF's been handed all the opportunities. Like, when he fought MJF, they lost after a 20-minute classic, after there was a cheating by MJF. Jungle Boy ended up on like your Dark Elevations, your Rampages, your... what the other one is? Oh, it's just Dark, innit? Whereas MJF has never been on Dark Elevation. He's never been on Rampage, which is mental. He's never full wrestled on Rampage, MJF. That's like the lowest he's been on is Dynamite. So he's basically saying that MJF doesn't need to be where he is. Then Sammy Guevara gets a few chants, and he's saying, you know, I came into AEW and I had to work on my own back. I ended up winning TNT title 3 times. I was known as the bump guy. I was brought in to be the bump guy for Jericho. He actually said that.
Yeah.
I've been brought in to be the bump guy. Like,
That's what it was, though.
Yeah, it is, but it's also like, you know, it's got to swaying what wrestling is, kayfabe, was it? It's like, you're being brought in so Jericho doesn't need to get slammed around.
Yeah.
Rather than, it's basically just being, he brought in to be the jobber. It was a bit weird. And then Darby said something, I can't remember what it is. He said something about him being Darby Allin. And, you know, if he can't be Darby Allin, he wouldn't be here. And then they all brawled, so there's a cake spot. MJF went for a cake.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. There's the cake. So Dark Order versus BCC. So it was Dark Order and Page, because he's not technically in there, versus Moxley, Claudio, and Utah. I rated this 3.25. It was I like BC Black Hawk Get Club don't have bad matches. It's always chaos because the ref has no control in them, because no six-man tag in AEW ever has control, but it was just a good match. Dark Order looked pretty decent in it, and there was a few moments where they actually looked like they were going to pick up the win. I'm on about without Paige involved as well.
Yeah.
And the ref lost completely control, and then what happened in the end was Wheeler Yuta clocked one of them. I think it must have been Grayson with the bell. No, I think he got Page with the bell. He clocked Adam Page with the bell, and Moxley got the Bulldog choke or whatever choke into it, and then tapped out Grayson. He wouldn't let go. And then there was just some afterbirthy kind of stuff, as usual, where they kind of brawl and looking at each other and kind of like, what the hell's just happened?
Yeah.
Next up, we had Jade Cargill's Canadian Invitational, which was answered by Nicole Matthews, who is a really good Canadian wrestler. I'm not even joking. Like, this isn't me just trying to spill into what happened next. Nicole Matthews been around for like 18, 19 years. Really good female wrestler in American independence. So it was going to be a good match. So what happened was Jade Cargill won in 27 seconds or whatever, or 10 seconds. I rated 0 because it pissed me off so much. Because I was like, oh, like I was going, oh, they're going to bring in. Oh, they've actually brought in like someone that probably people don't know, but at least she can have a match. I know. 0, yeah. Absolute stupid. But the only thing that saved this was they brought Taya Valkyrie in. Taya Valkyrie, in my mind, it won't happen, but in my mind should beat for the title. She's taller than her, and she's bigger than her, and she's a better wrestler than her. Like, yeah. I can give leeway to people like Ruby Soho, your Tony Storms and stuff. Fina, they're all smaller and weaker. Taya Valkyrie's a monster.
Yeah.
Like the image of like she stands about 2 inches taller, and she's like Cargill's more defined, ripped, whereas Valkyrie's like that. So yeah, Cargill's going to win, and it's going to make me even worse, even more sad about it. But yeah, Taya must win. Must win.
Not going to happen.
No.
Okay.
But who's going to beat her if Taya Valkyrie doesn't beat her now?
Don't know, because they're not getting anyone ready.
Yeah, absolutely. No one's ready for Asuka. Oh, wait, she's on Raw. So next up we had Ricky Starks. This is leading to Forbidden Door, I'm assuming, because it's pretty much Juice attacked him because Juice is now in the Bullet Club again. And he's basically going, I don't care if it's just you or I'm going to fight the Bullet Club. I'll take on anyone. Okay. My next note pretty much sums up this whole segment. QTV. What is this crap?
This.
What
I've
is it?
seen this.
What?
It's so bad. I think Scott posted it in FPL, and I watched it, and my immediate comment was, what the fuck was that? Can I have the 2 minutes of my life back, please?
Absolutely awful. They kept trying to take the mick out of WWE. They kept trying to shoot shots at WWE, yeah. Dave Bautista.
It was pathetic.
It was awful. The woman, I don't know who she is. They made her seem like she must be some kind of like an AEW like jobber randomer. It might have been like Anna Jay. I don't know. Like, it's weird.
It wasn't Anna Jay.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
It was. Well, the whole segment was garbage.
Well, absolutely awesome. And then out of nowhere, out of all this jokey stuff, Will Hobbs comes up and just says some crap about Wardlow, straight-faced, and then says, it's Will's world now. And it's no, it's not Will. Don't start adding world on the... It didn't work for Wardlow. It's not going to work for you. Jarrett versus Cassidy was up next. I like Jarrett. This match was awful. 2.25 stars. It was just shenanigan after shenanigan. Satnam Singh, or whatever his name is, kept getting involved. Ref gets knocked down. Jarrett's about to hit Cassidy with the guitar. Here comes Aubrey Edwards, just bowling down like this, like she's the hardest woman in the world. And then she gets in the ring, grabs the guitar off Jarrett, and then kind of there's a roll-up, nearly a pin. And then she shoos away Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt. The ref's back, Bryce Remsburger back in the match. At least Edwards got her spot in. Yeah. Edwards isn't, referees shouldn't be there to be seen. Like, I understand referees coming sliding down to make the count because that's what you got to do if the other ref's been knocked down. But she's there to make herself be seen. She loves it. Absolutely loves being on TV. Like Earl Hebner and stuff like that. Unless Earl Hebner was actually in a spot, you wouldn't notice him.
No.
like any ref, you don't notice them. Or you just know she's there.
Yeah.
Jessica Carr in WWE. I'm not going because she's a woman. Jessica Carr, I don't know Jess Carr's in the match.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of her. I don't like any refs in AEW. I'm not gonna lie. This seems like I'm just taking the pick crap out of AEW, but there's been good matches. It was just it's annoying. Some of the stuff is so aggravatingly annoying. Next up, we had the Outcasts. I'm actually finding them fine. Like, I think Ruby Soho's the mouthpiece of the Outcasts, which blows my mind. Because out of the people you'd think, Tony Storm, Soraya, and Ruby Soho, you wouldn't think Ruby Soho's actually the talker. But she's actually shooting some good promos. Paige said a certain word live on TV. TWAT for people that want to spell it out, and now she's been fined. I haven't found out. They basically were just saying how unhappy they are, and it's all cause stuff. And then eventually they mention Jamie Hayter, so she appears, rushes the ring. They're about to have a brawl. They're getting wand up because there's 3 of them and only 2 of Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker. And then do you know who comes to save Dr. Britt Baker?
Go on.
Riho! She's back with a bat. Riho with a bat. It was Riho, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue, so it made sense that they chased them off because there's 3 more women coming down. But yeah, and Rio had a pipe or a bat, and it was so good because she had a bat. Rio's like the most, like, you look at her and he's like the most innocent woman in the world. And she got a bat. So yeah, I don't know what it's leading to. And then match of the night. I didn't mention any of the matches of the night. You probably could assume them from what I rated. But match of the night, match of the week. The Elite versus the Jazz Society versus Hob, House of Black. We're out at 3 3/4. It started off as a normal. Well, it's not technically a normal. What is this even? What is the term for this kind of match? 3-way tag. 3-way.
It's a triple threat 6-man tag.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Triple. Yeah. Either way. So
triple threat trios match.
Yeah. There you go. That'll work. So it started off with there's only 2 people in the ring. So it's not all for there's not 3. Got 1 member from each team, so the other person has to get tagged in. Then as usual, it went into absolute carnage, and no one needed to get tagged in and stuff like that. Circling back to the BCC match, the amount of times that there was a legal man that actually wasn't the legal man in the end, by the way. Adam Page got knocked out, and then they decided to start pinning someone else. The ref didn't care. Back to this match. It just clicked on my mind. I meant to mention that. So it was your typical thing. Spot fest from everyone. The Elite was on top for a bit of it. The fans loved it because I think it was in Canada, so they're obviously pushing towards Jericho. Jericho and Kenny had a spot which was cool where they worked on Brody King, because obviously they're enemies, but they worked on Brody King to hit a suplex. Eventually it whittled down to the House of Black picking up the win, which is good because if they would have lost it, it would have ruined my mind. Like, why put the title on them and to lose it straight away? 3 3/4. I really enjoyed the match though. Check it out. People check it out if you can. Brawls continued after this still. During the match, they showed backstage the BCC and the Dark Order were still brawling, but it was like Alex Reynolds and John Silver. They end up coming down the ring and they all get laid out, and then it's basically the BCC are going to jump Adam Page in the ring, and then the Elite slide in behind him, and it's kind of like Adam Page, the BCC kind of step off and walk away, and Adam Page doesn't know that it's the Elite that have kind of... He thought, the BCC just didn't want it, whereas it's just because obviously the Elite are standing behind him. So they're hinting towards Adam Page joining the Elite again. So forget the Dark Order.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
just forget that. Just go back.
It's that storyline again, isn't it? It's like, Adam Page, he's friends with the Dark Order, and Elite's calling. Screw the Dark Order. It's happening again.
Yeah.
This is leading to a blood and guts match or something like that, isn't it?
It's got to be, innit? It's got to be leading somewhere, because otherwise it's pointless.
And I think Brian will kind of join in with the BCC. I think it'll be like, even though they're being pretty heelish right now, obviously Brian's he just like beating the crap out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of the wrestling. That's the end of AEW.
Yeah, it wasn't a great week, was it?
No. WWE, I tried to rush through. I'll go into this. AEW, I watched this morning, so it's more recent in my head. Whereas WWE, things are crap, but it's also I haven't watched it in like 3 days. So it's kind of, it's, I'm not refreshing myself.
No. Imagine having to refresh on Raw.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, yeah, don't get me wrong, Raw was ass. There's some good bits in it. Raw has average, though, whereas AEW doesn't have an average.
Yeah.
As I said, main event, excellent. Cargill versus Matthews, Jarrett versus Cassidy, ass. Dark Order versus BCC, really good. No middle ground.
No. Well, that will bring an end to this week's reviews on the wrestling. We are filming more videos. We're pushing out more content. We've got stuff in the pipeline that we're going to be doing coming up. Next week's show is the 50th podcast, I believe. I am right in that, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
It will be the 50th episode of the podcast. So, hopefully, the wrestling's a little bit better for when we review it, but we might do some fun stuff in the lead up. We just need to have a bit of a chat in the background, see if we can get something done to maybe make it a little bit extra special next week.
Yeah, we just need to make sure DP Dumas he's over a career of her.
Career criminal.
Yeah, he's career criminal. He's a copycat killer, people.
Yeah. I didn't want to put it out there in the public domain, but just be careful.
Yeah. He disappears for certain hours. You know when your friends ghost you? DP does it, but on perfect times.
Yeah. Every single week. But yeah, so if you're close to DP, just always keep a look behind you, just in case, because you never know.
Yeah, because he's got his hatchet.
But yeah, as always, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the videos that we post. Comment on them. Let us know if there's anything you like or you don't like. Follow us on Discord. Join in, because we do talk in there now and again. But we are trying to be more active. This is where we post all the videos as well as on Twitter as well. So follow us on Twitter at the HCW Show. Follow our individual Twitter handles that Rate us so kindly put on the screen.
Yes.
And you can follow DP's if you go and watch one of his videos, because it'll be on there. Because there's no way I'm spelling it.
It's in his Twitter's in the YouTube description.
Oh, is it? Right. Yeah. So his Twitter's in the YouTube description. So if you want to follow DP, good luck. But yeah, apart from that, I am pretty much done. Is there anything you'd like to add, Ray?
No.
It's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you on the next one.
I've lost the record button. Oh no.